Calvary greetings from me here, Marie Colette Kasika. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching all the videos that we've uploaded so far. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime we put up a new video. So karibuni sana, and let's get started. So today, by the grace of God, I am going to share with you 5 challenges that I personally went through as a minister's wife. As I told you earlier in the previous video that my dad is a pastor, my father-in-law is a pastor, but my husband is not a pastor. He is a gospel minister. He ministers through song, and these people are rarely at home. So my first challenge was when I gave birth and my husband was not around. In fact, he was around when I was in hospital, but immediately I gave birth, he traveled out of the country. That was a very, very big challenge, considering the fact that they had not even started bonding with our son, and I was alone. I had no one to help out in the small things. So it was a very, very tough time for me, and he was away for like a month or so. But thank God, in between the weeks, my family from my husband's side and from my side, they came through and they helped me. Actually, I remember there were times that it was so difficult for me to even lift up my child because I was still tired, and I had given birth through CS, so the pain was still, I was still very uncomfortable having to move about. It was not an easy thing, but I overcame. I thank God I had people who came through to help me with the small things that I really needed. My challenge number 2 is having to stand in gap spiritually when my husband is low. And I don't know why most of the times these things happens when myself I'm not even fully charged. You find there are times that your partner is so low because of issues that sick, or maybe they went outside, they went to for ministry, and things did not go well, and they are literally low. Most of the time when a servant of God serves, after ministration, you literally give out what is inside you, so you have to go back and refill. And at that time, these people are very, very vulnerable to attacks and all that. So it's a godly responsibility for a woman, a wife, to step in and to make sure that mtu wake ako well refurnished, well taken care of spiritually and physically. So I found it as a challenge because most of the time I'd find myself so tired to, like, I can't even afford to pray for anyone apart from me. It was a challenge, but with time I came to realize that the more I leave this person at such a time that I feel he needs me most, it's like I expose him to so many dangers. So I overcame that by training myself and encouraging myself to be all the time alert, to be alert at all the time, and to be ready at all time to pray for my husband and to encourage him to do all the things that I'm supposed to do. Challenge number 3, as you all know, my husband owns a band, and they are in a full-time ministry. These people are rarely at home. Most of the time he spends it with the band, and there are many times that I used to feel we are competing for attention between me and the band. So this is it used to be a very, very big challenge. I remember there was a time I wrote him a letter. And I was like, me, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm tired. You either choose to be at home or to be with the band. I think at that time sikuwa nimeelewa the vision, or I had not really sikuwa nimefit kabisa into the dream of the band, and I was not really fully aware, and maybe I didn't want to involve myself to understand more. So it used to be a challenge, and I used to feel as if my husband is neglecting me for the band, and that was not true. But all I had to do, actually I literally had to find someone to talk to speak out. I had to speak out this thing to someone who helped me. The person talked to me and told me the right things to do. So I started involving and including myself into the activities of the band. Anytime they needed me, I involved myself. I avail myself. If there's anything that I'm supposed to do, or if there's anything that they really wanted me to help out, I just go ahead and do it. And that way I realized that I started healing, and I started loving and appreciating the band more, because at the end of the day I realized this is another family that God has blessed me with. I mean, these are the kind of people that they call my husband dad. They started calling him dad even before my husband married me. So I told myself, or I realized that I had no choice but to try and fit in, at the same time make these people as comfortable as possible so that they can be able to push this ministry forward. Okay, challenge number 4. Challenge number 4 is that I said earlier, these ministers are rarely at one point. You know, to move a lot. They move a lot. So there are times my husband will ask me to accompany him somewhere for ministry. And you know, people are very different. Wakati mwingine tunaenda kwa mikutano, considering the fact that my husband is really handsome. For those who are privileged enough to have met him or to know him, he's a nice man. He's a very nice man. I don't want to go into details about him, but he's a very nice man, good looking and all that. So this one happened right on my face. I remember there was this event that we attended, and the MC of the event was a lady, and the way that lady described my husband made me feel like I'm going to lose it. You know, guys, one thing that you don't know about me, I'm a girl. I was brought up around boys, so I literally know how to fight. I literally know how to defend what is mine. Like, you just come and touch what belongs to me anyhow, and I just let you pass. I'm that kind of a girl. But thank God for marriage, and thank God for being married to the right person who knows how to, you know, to deal with such things. So this girl described my husband in a way that made me feel so uncomfortable. And at the back of my mind, I was telling God, please nisaidie nisiconfront msichana at the end of this meeting, please. And or maybe you'd find where after event, the people come to greet him, and you find ladies hugging your husband so tight, and you're like, hey, I'm here, some respect please. I mean, people are different, and maybe to them it was no big deal, and maybe it was an innocent gesture, but for me it was something that really affected me a lot. And most of the time we'd come back home and we'd fight about those things. And it got a time that I stopped accompanying him to events, you know, just trying to prevent myself from unnecessary hurt or from unnecessary drama. But by the grace of God, we talked about it. My husband and I sat down, we talked about this, and I have been training myself on how to tolerate and to handle some issues. And I realized that it's not every issue that you really need to react on. There's some things you just see and you just let them pass. So long as you both have your limits. Like, there's some things you really can't tolerate. There's some girls who don't have shame, by the way. They know exactly what they are up to. They know exactly what they are doing. So I think it was a very nice thing for me to sit my husband down and to open up to him and tell him that I'm not comfortable when this and this happened. As much as most of them were not really his fault, but I just, you know, we just had to find a way on how to settle it once and for all. And I thank God it really worked. Even when he goes for ministry, I'm not worried at all. I know he's in safe hands. And that really woke me up. In the terms of prayers, it really had to wake me up. I had to wake up, because you realize when these people go out for missions, you are not there with them, and there's nothing you can do trying to protect a man. No, the only protection you can give them is to pray for them. You just leave them under God's care. You just leave them under God's care. You speak a word anytime you are not together. You speak a word to your person, and it will be okay. So my next point, I think it's the last one. I'm sorry if I'm really trying to be as brief as possible. So my next point is financial instability. This is something that affects a lot of people. So many couples are going through this, and I just want to let you know that you are not alone, and I think there's a way forward. First of all, you really need to understand the nature, the kind of work that your person is in. As for me, my husband is into ministry, and we all know that that music in Kenya does not really pay as much. Well, please don't take me wrongly, but back in my home country, I come from DR Congo, so that explains why my English is not as fluent. So back in my home country, DR Congo, music pays a lot. Music is highly appreciated. There are people who are into full-time music, and they are living large. They are really doing well. But here in Kenya, you find that you really have to work very, 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 very hard, and if possible, you really have to have a side hustle, which is not bad. But I came to realize that having your person in full-time ministry is not an easy thing, and there are so many frustrations that can come with it. There are so many times my husband will go out. I'm speaking this, and I know he would get angry at me, because we spoke about this, and you're overcoming. So I remember there are times my husband will go out for ministry, and he'll come back studying, and I'm like, ooh, how are we going to pay our bills? Kuna nyumba ya kulipwa. I need to be taken good care of. I need money, in short. So how are you going to tell me that there is no money while maybe you've been away for a week, you've been away the entire weekend, you've been away for a month, and you're coming back here telling me there's no money? How? So honestly, this thing is very, very sensitive, because I remember there's a time that it used to affect me so much. It affected me so much that ikahamia mpaka bedroom. Like the bedroom business all came to a stop. Guys, I am not ashamed sharing you this, because it is a very, very sensitive thing, and we really need to share it. We really need to speak it out about. We need to speak out about these such things. Hii mambo ya pesa, it affected me a lot. It affected me a lot, and I realized it came a point that I even stopped performing my duties as a wife, which is very wrong. Like, there is no way you're going to give God an excuse. I didn't give my husband his conjugal right because he did not give me money. He didn't bring money. So long as he went out to try, then I realized it was something very, very wrong that I was doing. Okay, I didn't realize then there, but it started growing worse. It started becoming worse. Our communication started becoming so bad. Like, we started living like strangers in the house simply because there's no money. It was so bad, and we had to find someone. Look guys, having someone to talk about things that really hurts you is very important, or else many people fall into depression because they don't have people to talk to, or they are ashamed of speaking of such things. These things are normal. These things are common, and it's the right thing to do. You have to speak them out for you to be well, for you to heal, and for you to be able to, to handle when it reoccurs, of which we don't pray for such things to keep on reoccurring, So I had to go back to my parents. Wazazi wangu wa ndoa, they really helped me a lot, trying to support my husband even when wakati ameleta or wakati hajaleta. And you find, I realized this thing, mtu akikosa kuiongelelea and it affects the bedroom part, you find that kuna marriages zingine ambazo huwa zinavunjika because they don't want to speak about it. They don't want to go look for help, you know, or maybe they go looking for help at the wrong places, you know. So this really affected me, almost affected my marriage. But I thank God, through the help of our parents, wazazi wetu wa ndoa, they came through, they talked to us, considering the fact that they are also in full-time ministry. So I knew very well that these are the things that they maybe washapitia. So we had to go with my husband to them to seek for help, to seek for advice, to seek for a shoulder to cry on, and for, most important, to seek people to pray with us, because it was not an easy thing. It was very, very bad. And one thing that I really realized, if there are people who are loners, they are very, very lonely people, are ministers, be it pastors, be it musicians. These people are very lonely. You find that most of the time, you may think they have friends, you may think they have like very, very close friends, but these people don't have. They are very lonely. And when the storms of life come and they don't have a place to hold on to, it can be very bad. We've seen most of them committing suicide because of depression. They lack people to speak, to talk to. These people are very lonely. So I'd encourage wives to stand with your husbands who are in ministry, to be an encouragement to them. Don't add on the burdens and luggages they are carrying. These people are really, they're trying. They try a lot. They serve God. They serve the people of God. So we can't afford to add on the pain, to add on the burden that they carry. We can't afford to do that. I think the good thing that we're supposed to do as wives, as ministers' wives, is to try and crown our husbands the best way we know how. Two things that I can just share with us on how we can crown our husbands, our ministers. First of all, we be their number one supporters, motivators, encouragers, cheerleaders. Anytime they have an event, we be there for them. Anytime they have any activity that we feel we can do something to make it be more successful, please, let's go ahead and do it. Let's pray for our men. Let's pray for our husbands. Let's pray for our ministers. They need our prayers a lot. Also, if you can find something else to do apart from what your husband does, if he's able to take care of all the things in the house, well and good. But if you can really find something to do, please do it. Go outside. I encourage this, and it is not bad and it's not sin. Go out there, make your hands dirty, till the land. By making your hands dirty, please don't misquote me. I don't mean to go involve yourself into messy businesses, but by making your hands dirty or tilling the land means you just find something to do, something productive, something that may help you to generate an extra coin. You know, if you are blessed business-wise, please do it. Please do it. Go ahead and do that business. It will be successful, and you'll find that most of the things, your husband will feel relieved. Hata akienda nje kwa huduma atakuwa like it will feel as if there are some burdens ambazo zimekuwa uplifted from his shoulder. If you're good at makeuping, if you're whatever you feel you are good at, don't just sit down and look pretty. There's so many things that we can do to uplift their ministries and to help them out. These people really need us. One thing that you should know, it is very good for a wife to always be on guard for her husband, for her entire family. This is something that God himself put between woman and the devil. And if there's something that the devil fears, is a praying woman. Find time to pray for your husband, even in the middle of the night. Command his morning, especially the times that he has to go out for ministry. Pray with him. After praying with him, make sure that you take good care of him. You know, on the other side, make sure that he is well fed. You know what I mean? Yeah, please make sure you do that, or else you'll find yourself in a very bad situation. Akienda nje, mawazo yanamkujia, you know, and wengi wanguka kwa majaribu, because most of us wives tunajiona, I don't know, I think we just limit ourselves so much, or rather we feel so tired and so overwhelmed. Take your time to rest so that you can be able to take care of your husband, your minister husband. I hope I have been of help. Whatever that I've spoke about has been useful to you. If there's any challenge that you have gone through as a minister's wife and I haven't mentioned about, the ones that I've spoken about are mine. So if you have viewers, please, I request that you may share with them at the comment section so that we can all view, we can all go about them, and tunaweza saidika sisi wote. If you have anyone that you feel this video may be helpful too, if video itamsaidia, don't forget to share the link to the person so that we can all be able to have a good marriage, to have a good time with our husbands as much as they're ministers. So with that note, I'll just want to say thank you for joining me, and until next time, God bless you. Shalom.